September 8th, 2009. A 24-year-old Yale graduate student walks into a building that requires keycard access, security cameras, and ID verification just to step inside. She badges in at 10:06 a.m. and then she disappears. Inside a building with over 70 surveillance cameras, inside a secure biomedical lab, inside one of the most prestigious campuses in the world. 6 days later, on the literal day she was supposed to be walking down the aisle, her body is found hidden behind a wall. This is the case of Annie Lay, and how sometimes the danger isn't breaking in from the outside. Sometimes it's already holding a key card.
What? Government conspiracy. Automatically.
It was the pigeons.
Dude, pigeons on a college campus are insane.
Crazy.
They don't care about us.
They're crazy everywhere.
The ones in Lubbock at Tech, they would just be in the sidewalk and you'd be walking at it and it'd I swear it'd look up at you and be like, you can walk around me.
It was looking up at you, zooming in its eyeball camera for facial recognition. That's what it was doing.
Yeah. It was I ain't going nowhere because you're going to stop and stare at me what the hell? And I'm going to get a good shot.
Yep.
Because they really did not care.
Mm-hmm. They're robots, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Half of them don't have paws either. They're always missing a foot. They just got a nub.
They've been through it.
Dude, there was one in Ireland and I swear it was following me and Aaron. We were in Dublin at a restaurant and we walked all the way down a road through crowds. We're on Grafton Street, which is one of the main roads. And we're walking and go around a corner and then we come back up and we're sitting at another restaurant and I swear it was the same bird. It landed at our table again. Aaron had fed it. So that was probably the problem.
That's why.
It found us.
You feed the strays, man.
It used facial recognition and it sussed us out for some snacks.
Amen. Amen. They said, oh, I like this guy.
This guy's a good guy.
Shit. He got the good shit. Anyways.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Sisters of the Strange. We're both sick.
Yeah, I'm still on the mend. I'm not sick. Landry's the one that's going through it today.
I'm feeling better. I just am
just
kind of getting a little bit of a cough. And I just have really bad asthma, in general. Pretty much every time before we record, I use my inhaler before I talk. And yeah, my inhaler's done.
Struggle busting it.
Yeah, it's we don't want to be around you anymore.
No more puffs.
No more puffs.
And I have so much drainage that I puked at the gym this morning. So we're doing great things over here.
Her story of that was actually really funny. The way she gave it.
I won't be doing that for you. I'm so sorry. Love you, but can't do it again. I've already told it twice today because I had to do the same thing for my husband. When I saw him this morning, I had to tell him what happened too.
Yeah, we're good.
All the theatrics as well. What was I going to say? Oh my God.
I don't know. Pray that I jinxed myself and it was the last episode. I was I don't think I'm getting sick because I've gained weight.
Psych.
And joke's on me.
It's
I've gained weight and I'm getting sick.
It's going around, man.
Yeah. I mean, it was a matter of time. You and Aaron both had it, so.
Yeah. I don't know. I honestly don't know what it is. I was convinced that it was allergies, but at this point, I'm not really sure.
I never thought it was allergies. I woke up on Thanksgiving morning and I was this is either a hangover or I'm sick. And I really didn't drink that much the night before. Had a couple of claws watching TV, with my mom. We did a puzzle and ate some popcorn and shit. No. By the end of Thanksgiving night, I was asleep by 9:30. I went to Murphy's house for 2 hours and started falling asleep on her couch. And she's like, wake up, you're being boring. And I was yeah, I'm going to go home.
I got to go to bed, fool.
Yeah, and I did. And I woke up Friday and I was that was it.
I had 3 or 4 days of lucidity in between and I was feeling good. And now all of a sudden, since that's what I was going to say, it's frigid in Texas again. It's literally 30 degrees, 35 degrees, 37. I don't know. It's in the 30s.
Love.
It's cold.
I love it.
So now that it's cold again, my lungs and everything is just hey. We're not doing it today, girl. Because I can barely do it. So I have a heating pad on me because it's freezing in here. We have the heater on.
I brought a heating blanket. She said, we're going to freeze. And I said, No, we're not. I'm not.
I verbatim said we're going to freeze our balls off.
Yeah. Aaron also the other day was like, I think I'm gonna have to start taking my heater out of town. And I was like, yeah, that me and Shay have that. And he was like, when? And I was like, you told me to take it. We've had it for over a year. Mm-hmm. And he was like, oh.
Yeah, so you're going to have to buy a new one, Aaron. Sorry. Or you can take this one and buy us a new one.
A better one. That one ain't going nowhere. Yeah. No.
Because that thing don't work up there.
She was like, oh, it's working. And then it turned off. And then as soon as she said, are you ready to record? It turned itself back on immediately.
Asshole.
Yeah.
Everybody's here. Everybody's out to get us. Everybody's against us.
Yeah, there's a lot of random shit. My deep freeze went out this month. I'm sick. There's a lot of other shit going on.
Yeah.
So
happy Christmas. Merry Chrysler.
Just get me ready to start the new year on a good note. Everything goes downhill. So that
I know. I can't wait for the new year.
Oh, I can. I love Christmas.
I mean, I'm excited for Christmas too. But I also can't wait for the new year because I have 2 concerts coming up and I'm just so excited.
Yeah, Youngblood will be in town like on your birthday.
I know.
Yeah, I sent the tickets to Aaron and he said, okay, but we're also going to go here. And I don't remember who he sent me, but he sent me a concert that was not in Texas. And I was like, yeah, that's not in Texas. And he was like, I know. I was like, we're not.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I want to go to, so George Strait and Miranda Lambert are also playing in Lubbock on my birthday.
Oh, yeah.
Which would be cool to see George Strait. But also, like, I don't know. I think I would want to see Youngblood more. I don't have him on my list yet because my mother-in-law said she was going to buy us tickets, but I don't know if she has yet because she was in the queue and I don't know if she was able to buy any. So now that like they're like all up for resale now that the scalpers bought them all.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll be able to get some tickets, but
I didn't even like actually look at the tickets. I just sent Aaron the tour date.
I want to see him very badly.
Yeah.
If nobody goes with me, my mother-in-law and I will go together because we both love him very much.
I will go.
And Landry will go too.
I will go.
Yes, absolutely. But then I have Machine Gun Kelly and Wiz Khalifa
lit.
in May. And I have Bad Omens and Beartooth in March. And I am so pumped.
Excited.
That's my favorite.
I don't think I've gone to like a legit concert like in a arena since One Direction.
Oh,
maybe.
Lord help me. I will say I haven't gone to a concert at American Airlines Center because they suck. Concerts suck at American Airlines Center. I don't care what anybody says.
I mean, that's why we saw New Kids on the Block. But
yes,
we were in third grade.
We also just didn't know.
No.
But yeah, the older I've gotten, the more places I've seen concerts, so I'm like, oh,
that sucks.
Yeah, this is kind of ass.
Oh,
especially compared to Dickies.
I think that's the only place I've been to concerts. I went there for One Direction, New Kids on the Block, New Kids on the Block, and Backstreet Boys. And I think that's it. Other than that, I've gone to like a bunch of like Texas country concerts just everywhere.
Yeah. Also, same. But
I'd like to go to more though. I had like Jelly Roll on my list at one point for Aaron, and Teddy Swims.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like his concert would be very loud, like not in a way that I would like. Because he reminds me a lot of Chris Stapleton, which I like them, but I don't like that I feel like they're yelling at me when they're singing.
Well, I have no advice for that because
I don't know. I don't mind if it's like constant loud, but it's like they're like soothing and then they're like,
then they start screaming.
And then it like gets quiet again and I'm like,
true. That's true. Shit. I'm like, I'm going to a literal screamo concert. So
no, I don't think I would. I think if I was prepared for that, but it's like, they're like soft and then it's like when you get like a sudden loud noise and you're like, fuck. Yeah, that's what it's like.
I love that though, because that's like range, baby. That's one of my favorite things that Noah does is that he can sound like a literal angel, a siren, and then all of a sudden he's like barking at you and you're like,
I like that.
Yes, sir. I'm sat.
Bark like you want it.
That's me. For real.
There was a video and it was these sisters and they were in a store together and one of them was like, ooh, look over there, to the left, to the left, to the left. And she said, the bark like you want it. And this sister in the background goes, woof, woof. Just like starts barking.
Oh, if you think that's not going to be me in March, you got me so fucked up.
I love it.
Anyways, I don't know how we got here. But I love that.
I haven't seen you in a while.
Big Bad Omens fan over here. So in today's episode, we're going deep into the disappearance of Annie Lay. which I hadn't really ever heard about before. And I was just trying to find something that I could go over and do quickly before I have to go to work today. So this is pretty cut and dry story. There's no like twists and turns like the normal stuff that I pick, but it's terrifying nonetheless. So this is a brutal, contained, claustrophobic, like just atrocious crime that takes place in one singular place, one singular spot. There was no killer on the loose. There was no break-in. There's no like mysterious figure, like, you know, slipping away in the night. Nobody ever catches them. It was a lab, a locked door, and Annie who walked in and never came out. Yeah.
That's terrifying.
So we're going to get into it. So first of all, we're going to talk about who Annie Lay is before we talk about the crime. So Annie was born on July 3rd, 1985 in San Jose, California, to a Vietnamese American family. She spent her childhood in Placerville, California, where she was raised by her aunt and uncle. She was the valedictorian of her graduating class in high school at Union Mine in El Dorado, California, and she was voted most likely to be the next Einstein. She earned approximately $160,000 in scholarship money, and she attended and graduated from the University of Rochester in New York for her undergrad, with a major in cell developmental biology with a minor in medical anthropology. So she is like smart.
I can't even imagine being that smart, like being bred that nicely.
Big smart.
Yeah.
Big smart.
And being able to be like, yeah, I went to college in New York and I had $160,000 in scholarships. I thought I did good getting my my meager scholarships that I got. Dang, girl.
I never got one scholarship.
Did you apply?
For one.
Okay.
I wrote one paper. That was my own bad. It's okay. Anyway, that's a lot of work.
I would rotate. I wrote 3 or 4 different essays, and I would.
Couldn't
but
be me.
they often went off like what topic, but a lot of them used the same topic.
Mm-hmm. Like prompt.
Yeah. I went all out for scholarships because I knew I wanted to go to college and no one wanted to send me to college and no one wanted to help me pay for it. And I knew where I wanted to go and I knew I was going to go there.
Yeah. And
So,
she did the damn thing.
I did it. I did. I went to a 4-year university in another city for less than $20,000 in student debt.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Because there was kids in my class that were sitting at like 60 to 80,000. Yeah, but that's
There's
because
people who have debt like that did what I did, and I'm like,
how? Yeah,
why?
No, I wrote a lot of scholarship essays.
And to think about all that work that you did to get those scholarships, she probably was like here's a scholarship to come to.
Yeah,
here's a scholarship for you to work
smart.
under our, her academics. We're just she was the valedictorian, of course.
Dude, I had like a 3.96 out of 4, and I still was in like only the top 20% of our class.
We won't talk about me.
We were very smart. You just didn't give a crap.
Nope.
I mean, I didn't either, but
you applied yourself a lot more than I did.
I did because
you wanted to go to college.
Well, but like my older sister, like perfect straight A student, perfect attendance, perfect Miss America type of girl. She's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And then my brother didn't have to try and was incredibly smart. So I like didn't want to be like I've always been the like, that's Landry.
That's the middle child.
I'm the younger child.
Oh yeah, you're the young. What the fuck? Hello?
I am, but that's the younger child syndrome. Like,
yeah,
there she is.
That's her. That's the girl.
And so,
and then there was me.
Yeah, I was like, I got to do it, dude. I gotta. But part of it was also like, if you tell me I can't do something, I'm going to do it.
Mm.
And I got told a lot by people that I wasn't going to graduate and I wasn't going to do things. And so
Me too.
I did it.
Yeah, I did it. So anyways, so Annie, very smart, lots of scholarships. She's incredible. She was also, at the time that this crime took place, she was only 24 years old. So younger than us now. And she was like 4'10". She was tiny.
Little girl.
So tiny but mighty is what people say about her. She was ferocious with ambition. She was a doctoral student at the Yale School of Medicine in the Department of Pharmacology. meaning that she was getting her PhD in pharmacology, the study of drugs and how they affect the body. In case you don't know that.
That would be so cool to tell somebody that that's what you were doing.
Yeah. I go to Yale.
Yeah.
I have my PhD in pharmacology. Not only that, not only is she studying pharmacology, her research that she was doing in her program had applications in the treatment of diabetes and certain forms of cancer.
Girl.
So she was just like in it.
Yeah. Doing good.
Doing the good
stuff.
stuff.
Doing the Lord's work.
Doing the Lord's work. The stuff that actually like makes a difference. Like she was working her and has worked her whole life to this moment.
You know, if you told someone around here that you were studying pharmacology, they'd be like, oh yeah, what farm equipment are you talking about?
Tractors? Plows? They go to university for that?
Don't cancel us. Sorry.
We can make fun of y'all because we're from here. It's okay.
Yeah.
Love
well, it
you.
says something if that's exactly where my brain goes. So.
Exactly.
But that's crazy. I cannot
I'm
imagine
glad-
being that smart.
I'm glad I was able to clarify that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's insane amount of like information in school. So on top of this, on her wildly successful academic achievements, she also had been engaged to a man named Jonathan Wodowski. They got engaged in July of 2008, and they were set to be married this year as well in 2009. They met at the University of Rochester and bonded over science and school and like fell in love instantly. They were best friends. They were together for a year or two, and then he proposed. She said yes. Like it was this beautiful love story. They were very much in love. Jonathan was a graduate student as well in applied physics and mathematics at Columbia University, and they were set to be married on September 13th of 2009. So like literally within a week. They did not live together because he went to a different school. They lived like 2 hours apart. So he wasn't like near, but they talked every day and all of those things. So basically her life was like the kind of person who makes you be like, damn, like we've been doing this whole time. Like, damn, I need to step my game up. She's doing it.
Yeah.
At 24 years old, girl, hello?
Do we know what I was doing at 24 years old? Nothing compared to that.
Yeah, crazy. So basically this was supposed to be the happiest week of their life.
Yeah.
Flowers ordered, dress ready, honeymoon booked, but instead you all know why we're here. That's where we're going with this. Anyways, so Tuesday, September 8th, 2009. Here's a little bit of the timeline. Annie wakes up. She texts her friends, eats breakfast, completely normal day. She gets up like she normally does, leaves her apartment around 8:30 to get to the university, to get to Yale. She arrives to the lab building on Amistad Street around 9 o'clock in the morning. So not only is she a PhD student, she also works in this research lab for her degree. So one of her professors was like, hey, I think you would really enjoy this. You should come work with us in the lab. I want you to come work under me. I'll teach you blah, blah, blah. So she works in this huge biomedical lab on the university campus of Yale. And as I mentioned before, it's like Loctite security.
Yeah.
But there's many, many labs in here, and there's all kinds of people, not only just like staff, but also other students who are working on their research projects and things like that. But this isn't like, I don't know how you would, not like a high school, like science lab. This is like top.
Yeah.
Shit.
I'm envisioning for whatever reason the movie Splice. Don't know why.
Sure. Okay.
They just have a
Haven't
lab.
seen that
I don't
in a
know
long
why that's
time.
where my brain went,
But yeah, like top medical, like cures for cancer and diabetes and things like that. Like this is serious stuff.
yeah.
So it's like locked down.
badging in and
Yes,
stuff.
right. So she has a badge. She badges into the building around 9 a.m., the front door of the building. She keys in with her card. There is surveillance footage of her walking into the building with her books in her business casual attire, hair's fixed. She's got her purse in her hand with her books in her other hand, and she goes inside. There's 2 different times here that it said back and forth. I don't know. So I read at 10:06 a.m. and I also read at 10:11 a.m. She badges into the lab, this super secure biomedical research lab. 75 plus security cameras each lab has an access log every time. Like each door has a badge log. So when you badge in, it clocks it.
Yeah.
And enough security that literally it seems like they were hiding nuclear weapons. Like, I don't know. There was just security guards and security doors everywhere. So she walks in just like a normal day. She goes to her office and sets down her purse, wallet, keys, phone, everything. Yeah. Everything's in the office. Apparently around 12:59 p.m. that day. So she gets there at 10. She does her normal stuff. She goes to the lab. She does some things. She's doing some research, goes back to her office, sets all of her stuff down. It seems like maybe she was going to like go to lunch or something. It seems like it would be around that time. She sends out like a mass email, like a group email to her colleagues at 12:59 p.m. about some meeting that they needed to do, some research stuff that they were doing. And people start like responding to the email, asking questions, clarification, like blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And she never responded to any of those. But that was the last thing that was sent from her was 12:59. And then she gets a text message that tells her to come to this specific lab that she normally works in from a colleague in that lab, saying that they need to go over the like maintenance of the mice cages, because some of the research that they do is like enzymes for mice and things for the diabetes and the cancer research. So they have animals that they take care of in their, enclosures, and they have to keep them nice and clean and, ethical testing and things like that. So she gets a text message that she needs to come down to this lab for this conversation about the mice. Nobody hears from her after that. And she's just gone. There's no footage of her leaving the building. There's no badge swipe out of anywhere. And her, like I said, her phone, purse, and keys, cash, everything is found in her office, just like untouched. Like she just left it there.
If you're going to kill her, why would you kill her in a place like this?
Right. So then she doesn't show up for the meeting that she had emailed about. So people are kind of like, that's weird.
Yeah.
She lives in a home with like 4 other girls, as one does in college. And one of them she was particularly close to, which was more of like her closer friend of the house. I think her name was Natalie. She hadn't heard from her all day other than like 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And so she gets nervous. And so she's like, I don't know, this is just weird. So she's like calling people, and this is just not like her. Because also once she's disciplined, she has a schedule, she keeps to it. She's also supposed to be married this week. So she's got stuff to do.
Yeah.
So she reports it to the campus police, and they're like, okay, well,
and
I don't know, maybe she's doing stuff in the lab. She's busy. I don't know. She's got stuff to do before whatever. She doesn't come home that night at all. So Natalie's like really nervous. So she reports her missing to the police. And the police are like, okay, well, we're going to start investigating this, like, whatever. And so at first they're like, well, maybe she's got cold feet. Oh, and she just left. Okay, well, who's going to leave without their purse, wallet, phone, keys?
Yeah, where are you going?
Hello? She'll be back. Maybe she's, just studying in the library. Maybe she's doing this. Maybe she's doing that. Well, they're supposed to be like investigating it, but they're not really. They're just trying to like kind of grasp it, like,
making excuses.
Figure out why, instead of them saying like she's like a runaway, but they're like, maybe there's just something that we're missing here.
Yeah.
So they don't shut it down completely, but they kind of just are like, whatever. So the next day ish, Natalie's like, hey, don't forget about me. My friend is still not here, and I still haven't heard from her, and neither has her fiance or her aunt or her uncle. Like, nobody's heard from her. This is not like her. She's not just going to not answer us.
Yeah.
So the police are calling all the people that they think that, maybe she could be with them. She could be with them, whatever. Nobody's heard from her. As one does, assume that it's the husband, boyfriend, fiance. So they call him up and they're like, hey, man, when was the last time you heard from her? And he's like, well, she texted me at 8 o'clock in the morning and told me she had a busy day and that she would check back in with me at 7 o'clock. Well, she never did. And they're like, okay, well, we need to talk to you. And he's like, okay, well, I'm 2 hours away, but I'll be there. So he comes and interviews and answers all the questions and is completely cooperative and all the nothing.
Yeah.
Wasn't him. Obviously. She went into the building and never came out. Where else would she be?
Yeah. And how's he getting in the building?
Right. You can't. Nobody from the outside can just get into this building.
Yeah.
You can't bring a friend into the building. They have to have an ID and a key card to get in this building. So then the police are like, okay, so she went here. Here's our timeline. We're going to go back to the building and we'll search it. Well, they search it high and low and they don't find anything. So they're like, okay, well, let's start to look at the logs, the lab logs and all the things. So not only is this research facility, like I've mentioned, with animals, pathogens, experimental materials, all these important things, after the first 24 hours or so, the FBI gets involved immediately.
Yeah.
Because this is a big deal that if somebody did break into this facility, what could they have tampered with or messed up or this or that? There's serious shit up in this lab
to risk.
So if somebody broke in, we need to figure out who that is and what they did and where they went while they were in here at the very least.
Yeah.
So the FBI is involved immediately. And everybody's panicking because they're like, how did they get in here? So they start, like I said, comb from top to bottom, every room, hallway, freezer, camera angle, access log, all the things. So the cameras are positioned in a way that they're looking for theft, they're not watching the people in the lab to see where they're going and what they're doing. So they're positioned in ways where the walkways aren't seen. Yeah, it's more of just the materials that are in the lab type security cameras. So they're everywhere, but if you're not in that one specific spot, it's not going to see you.
Yeah, there's a lot of blind spots.
Lots of blind spots. So then it starts to click. Well, she didn't leave the building. She's got to be in here somewhere. And so is her captor, murderer, abuser, whatever happened to her. It all happened right in here.
Yeah.
So they interview everyone, students, lab techs, maintenance, security, professors, other grad students that don't even have access to this lab, tons of people. No forced entry, no stolen badges, and no outsiders are within the building. Everybody has their badge. Nobody's lost a badge. So they're like, okay, well, it's one of you people that's on this list.
Yeah.
The suspect has to be internal. So there's one person who stands out to them based on their list and access logs. So Annie goes into this lab, I think 13. And there's only one other person that was badged into that lab at the same time frame as her. And his name is Raymond Clark III.
Okay. What a name.
What a name. Raymond Clark III. So Raymond Clark III is a 24-year-old as well, animal lab technician in her building, in her lab. And his job was literally just to maintain the mice, clean the cages, monitor their conditions, make sure that that's clean in there where they're kept and they're fed and they're all the things. People said that he was weirdly intense, but he didn't have any immediate red flags to people.
They just were off.
He was just kind of off to them. He was obsessive about the lab's cleanliness, which that's his job. Okay, he's just really taking his job seriously. That's cool. He would try to micromanage the mice in the lab. He was very particular about them and he would correct people. And he was kind of had this obsessive controlling personality, but he wasn't mean or rude but people said when they were being interviewed after the fact, they were well, maybe there were a couple of little things that kind of were weird, but nothing that was
he's going to murder her.
Hey, yeah. So, but multiple women later said that he did give them bad vibes. He hovered, he monitored, he was always lurking around and inserting himself into tasks that weren't his job. Bro, you're taking care of the mice. We're curing cancer. So mind your business, Ray. So on the morning that Annie disappeared, he was the one who texted her about the mice cage conditions. He's we need to have a talk. about the mice. Get your ass down here. Not really, but that's,
Yes.
There was no like real context as to like what the vibe was behind the meeting. Like if he was being serious about his job and was like, we got to talk about this. Or if he was just like, hey, let's go do our like daily routine and like talk about the whatever. I don't know. I don't work in a lab.
Me
Okay.
either.
So I have no idea how that works, especially with animals they have to take care of. But she goes down there and she doesn't ever come back out. He gets her down there and there's like this time frame between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. where they're logging his badge access. And he goes in and out of that lab 55 times.
He takes his job very serious.
Which again seems like strange. Because if you're thinking about it, you're working in a lab, which again, I don't do.
Yeah.
And he is like the mice maintenance guy. I don't know how many times he has to go in and out of there, but like thinking
I would imagine
logically,
everything that he would need would be in that
everything
room.
that you would need would be in there, right? So like maybe if you're like coming out to go to lunch, or if you're coming out to go to the bathroom, or you need to go grab a couple things and come back, like maybe
3,
like 10
4.
to 20 times generously.
Generously. I'm like, that's very generous, because whenever I was in college, we badged in and out of our area just because we had a lot of computers and stuff. If I'm in something, I'm in something.
Yeah.
Like if
you're working.
Granted, it's a computer and not multiple mice. I'm not like cleaning cages. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know if he's keeping logs. I don't know what mice maintenance is, but
I don't know what mice maintenance
I don't know what he does. I don't know if he's just supposed to clean the cages or if he's supposed to be the one that watches them to see their like
the reactions
and stuff like that. I don't know, but I cannot imagine that 55 times is necessary.
Yeah, I see. I feel like that's a lot. So that also like rings a bell with investigators. They're like, that seems like a red flag.
Yeah.
But they also already had this red flag of, well, you were the only person that was in there today. So it's you and her, and that's it. So you're it, buddy.
Suspect number one, my guy.
You're like, suspect number one. So it's also said that when police question him, he has some scratches and a little bit of maybe bruising on his body. So when they're questioning him, he has like this like fresh scratch on his bicep. Like it's like bright red. And so they're like, hey, what happened to your arm, man?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, my cat scratched me.
The mice.
The mouse. I would have blamed it on the mice for sure. He blamed it on his cat.
He would be a cat guy.
Does he have a cat? I don't know. Like I said, his card is the only one that tracks the same rooms that Annie was in that morning and the exact place where she never came out of. So for Ray, it's not looking good.
No?
It is not looking good for you, pal. He also, this comes out later, but apparently there was another student that had been in and out of the lab, but she had only been in and out like twice. So like she didn't like raise any flags for them. And I don't know if the timeline added up for when they were all three in there together, or maybe she was in there at the same time as Ray was at one point. But remember, he was in and out of there between 10 and 3 p.m. We haven't heard from Annie since basically 1 p.m.
Yeah.
So that's essentially 2 hours of God knows what could have happened.
Yeah.
So apparently this other person who was in there at one point, she goes in and Ray's in there and he's like obsessively cleaning the lab, which is again, not completely abnormal for him, but she's like, he was getting it. He was on his hands and knees. He was scrubbing the floor. He was scrubbing the drain. And she noticed that on there was like a cart, like a lab cart that had like shelves on it. So you could like stack stuff on it to move it in and out or go around the lab or whatever. She noticed there was like this box of like wipes. It was a clear box of wipes that was on the lab cart, and it had what she described as basically blood spatter on it.
Oh.
I don't know how much or how little, but she said that she had noticed something that caught her eye. She noticed that there was something like red on it. So she like gets a little bit of a closer look and she sees and there's like, oh, there's a lot of it on here. But she described it as like spatter.
Yeah.
So she like nonchalantly like leaves and goes to tell the officers that are all around investigating. This was like the next day or two or whatever, then within the week, but it wasn't the exact same day.
Yeah.
So she goes to tell the officers that are like investigating and she's like, hey, I just like noticed this and saw this and it just seems weird. And I think I may have found some evidence because they couldn't get anything. All they had was a timeline. Like
how did they miss that? Get it together.
I don't know. So they go back in there and she walks in like nothing is going on. She just goes back to doing what she's doing. They come in like they're just like surveilling the area, just seeing kind of how everybody's working, what everybody's doing, what the routine looks like. And Ray's in there and he's like cleaning everything. You know, he's just like going at it, scrubbing the floor, scrubbing the drain. He's like doing his little thing. He's serious about his cleanliness. Or he's cleaning up a murder scene. Who knows?
Who knows?
So the cop kind of like is moseying around, like acting like he's just being nosy, and he gets close to this cart. Well, he doesn't get close enough, and Ray like comes around and he's like, excuse me, I gotta clean. And so he like turns the box around and he like turns the box around and then wheels the cart like over to another side of the room. This was just something that I had read and seen in some of the stuff that I did, but I don't know how true that is, but it seems a little sus to me.
It's crazy because if I was a cop, I'd have been like,
don't touch it.
Grab it. You're not going anywhere. They're just like fighting over the wheelie thingy.
We're going back and forth and pushing it into each other. Yeah. We're just going to fast forward to September 13th. Okay. This is Annie's wedding day.
Oh.
Yeah. People had already been coming into town this week anyways, because they knew that she was getting married. And they didn't know that she was going to be missing. Obviously, when they get there, they're like, oh, she's missing. We don't know what's going on. But now she has all this family in town. Terrible, terrible news. So instead of like, you know, her having a wedding, the police are still at the lab searching again and again and again. Like I said, they searched up and down, up and down. I don't know what crime scene investigation was doing. They weren't doing super great.
Doesn't sound like it.
But also, you'll know why.
Oh.
So there is this place down the hall from this lab that is basically essentially like a locker room. And so there's like a door, and a door. So there's like a corner in between two doors and one door. And Ray and Annie apparently had kind of used in and out the same locker room. And they would go in there and they would change into like reusable scrubs.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you're familiar with those, but a lot of hospitals, like operating rooms and stuff, you'll go in regular clothes and you'll change into a pair of like scrubs that you get from a machine.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, you return them, they wash them, and then they recycle them.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what it seemed like they were using those. So they go into this locker room and somebody finds a locker that has a pair of like Carhartt boots and a seal blue scrub top, like reusable scrub top. Well, the boots on the back of them say Ray C on them. It's written in Sharpie. And then with the boots, there is this blue scrub top. Well, both of those articles have blood spatter on them. Hello? So they're like, okay, we got to be close. Also, why are these in here?
Also, what the hell?
Also, what the hell? So they're feeling like they're getting a little bit closer. So they find these articles and they're searching in this area, more closely in this area. Well, they find this utility chase picture. Okay. Basically the size of my computer screen, maybe. One of those little metal doors that's flush with the wall. That's about, yay big that you could maybe stick your head into.
Like the thing you put your like pee in when you go to the doctor and stuff?
Sure. Yeah, but a little bit bigger than that.
Okay.
But it's not that. It's literally like a crawl space in between the walls where they like put cables and and pipes and stuff run. Like it's like a crawl space in between the wall, but this is where you get to it. So it has like a key and you open it.
Oh, okay.
At 1 p.m. on September 13th, an officer decides that he's going to open this wall panel. And everything stops because inside the wall, behind the sheetrock, tucked into this narrow vertical space, is Annie's body. And she was contorted and compressed and pushed into this tiny little space. Now, she was a small girl, but when you see the photo of this, it is just completely unhinged.
Yeah.
How he got a entire body into that small space is beyond me. But he did. And that's where she was for, what day did I say? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 5 days?
Like 5 days.
Mm-hmm. 5 days. She sat there. So she had been hidden, contorted, and compressed into this tiny space and was just left there while the entire campus searched for her for 5 days. So now they get a search warrant for Ray, whatever the hell his name is, the third.
Yeah.
And test the DNA because not only was she found contorted into this tiny space with a broken collarbone and a broken jaw that were not done after she died, her underwear were around her ankles and there was DNA that they were able to extract from that. So they get a search warrant for his DNA. They pick him up from his home, take him to the station, get a DNA sample, and then release him. And the DNA matches because obviously he was the only one there. But apparently her death was ruled as a traumatic asphyxiation. And there was very much evidence that she fought for her life because, for one, he had scratches and stuff on him, but also she was being shoved into this tiny hole. I don't know if it was while she was alive or not, but it seems as if she may have still been somewhat alive when she was crushed into this hole, into this crawl space. So I just let that sink in for a moment.
No, that's horrible.
Yeah, it's terrible. That I was like listening to the story and I was like, oh, this is pretty like clear cut and dry. And then I got to that part and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And then I saw the, no.
That sounds horrible.
Terrible. So once they find her body and they do the search warrant and the DNA samples, they find blood evidence linking him to the scene, his DNA under Annie's fingernails, her DNA on his clothes, and the bizarre tracking of her movements with the key cards, him changing his story early on during questioning, and his attempts to clean areas where she had been last seen, which is why he was obsessively cleaning the lab over and over. So the story that he changed apparently was that they were in the lab together. She left for lunch or something, and then they came back, and then she went back, and then there was a fire drill or a fire alarm went off or something. So they all had to leave, but there was no key card evidence showing that anybody keyed out or keyed back in at those times. Like that just wasn't a thing. And then all the stories of the other people that were like, no, that didn't happen.
Yeah.
So his story just didn't match up from the beginning. Get this. This man had a fiance.
Okay.
Yeah. This man had a fiance who also stood by him and did not leave him even after she found this out. I just am blown away by this. I just don't understand it. So at this point, case closed. It's him. He did it, obviously.
Yeah.
After his arrest, Raymond Clark was held on a $3 million bail at the McDougal Walker Correctional Institution, which is a maximum security prison in Connecticut. He appeared in the Connecticut Superior Court on October 6, 2009, but did not then enter a plea to his charges. So his hearing was delayed until January 26 of 2010, since not all the materials in the case had been made available to all the lawyers present. Clark initially pleaded guilty on January 26th, and then his pretrial hearing was scheduled for March 3rd, 2010. Which is where they had pretrial evidence and was processing, and the full trial was scheduled for July 26th. In October of 2010, his case continued and another hearing was scheduled for February 9th, 2011. And in March 2011, he entered a guilty plea in her murder in exchange for 44 years of prison instead of the death penalty, had he not pleaded guilty. So he changed his plea from not guilty to guilty because he was like, oh, basically took a plea deal.
Yeah.
So, and he also had an additional charge of attempted sexual assault, not mentioning the murder charge, but he entered an Alford plea, which is basically a guilty plea that says that, oh, I'm not admitting my guilt to this, but the facts, says that you have sufficient evidence against me, but I'm not pleading guilty to it.
Okay.
But they still get it. I mean, they still get him on that. Still a plea.
Yeah.
Whatever. So he officially entered the pleas on March 17th and was formally sentenced to 44 years of imprisonment on June 3rd. At his sentencing, he took responsibility for his actions and expressed remorse for the murder, although he did not ever give any reasoning as to why he did it. He just apologized over and over.
What?
So, he's serving his sentence at the Cheshire Correctional Institution and is scheduled for release on September 16th of 2053. Under a 2023 law expanding parole eligibility for youthful offenders, however, he will become eligible for parole after serving at least 60% of his sentence, or 26 years. So that's fun. So this is the part of it that makes it very disturbing to me because we don't have any idea why he did this. There's many theories from the investigators and prosecutors, but some of the motives are like, one was a power and control issue. Like maybe he just felt like he didn't have enough control and power in the lab and he felt like he should. Maybe he felt like he wasn't as important as he felt he should have been.
Yeah.
There was a literal dispute over lab procedures, like the cleanliness of the lab, the cleanliness of the mice, the ethical care of the mice, what they were doing to the mice. Maybe he really, really cared about the mice. I don't know. There's the sexual motive that maybe he was so used to Annie and, spent a lot of time around her and he had feelings for her and she didn't feel the same way. And knowing that she was going to be getting married soon, like sent him over the edge because maybe he was in love with her and she just, denied all advances because she was in love with her fiance and he just lost it.
Yeah.
Or he's just a psychopath who decided to snap and shove her in a tiny hole.
It's insane. It took them 5 days to find her.
Mm-hmm. Because she was literally stuffed in a...
Yeah, but
in a wall.
There's no other option. Why wouldn't you check there? If you were in an escape room right now, would you check it?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. It's a little weird to me.
Mm-hmm. But it was like down the hall in the locker room. It wasn't like in...
Yeah, I still would have checked every single room in that lab.
Well, they say they checked it up and down, top to bottom.
That's not checking
That
everything.
wasn't checking it.
I'm like, that's not checking everything. 5 days
but
is crazy.
Also,
5 days to find his boots and his scrubs.
Yes, correct. Also, I guess it could go either way because yes, you could have opened it thinking, oh, well, they're not going to be shit behind here, and then open it and then, oh, hell, there's a body right there. But like, if you're passing a little, like, it literally looks like an electrical box. Like you're going to look at it and say, oh, there's not going to be anything in there.
I don't know. I would look in there for like a murder weapon or something. Like,
That's true.
but I'm just a weirdo. I like overanalyze every situation I'm ever in. I would imagine the cop would do the same, or a police officer in a situation like that.
Yeah. But they just had like, I guess up until that very point, like they had no
clue if she really was like dead or not.
Clues or evidence. Like they just were going based off timeline and that she had to have at least been at some point in this building and did not leave it alive.
Yeah.
So they were like, well, maybe she's not even in this building. Maybe he took her somewhere.
I wonder if he thought he was going to get away with it. Like just by like how like he stayed in the lab around the cops instead of like trying to flee or anything. Yeah. Like he wasn't intimidated by their presence at all, which is strange to me.
Which is scary.
I'm like scared of cops just driving past them on the road and I'm doing nothing wrong.
Me too.
And I'm like, you gonna pull me over right now?
Yeah, exactly. Me too.
I've done nothing wrong.
Absolutely nothing wrong.
Poor girl. What a horrible way to be lodged.
And it clearly wasn't planned. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't seem to be that it was planned. Like, the investigators think that it just something escalated and he acted on impulse and used the fact that he knew where all the blind spots in the security cameras were, and that, you know, I don't know. It's just weird.
I guess my assumption would be probably that he liked her, because just the timing of like her wedding being right then and there.
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes me believe that, and not just like a snap of like fighting over
Rats or mice.
Yeah, the
Especially
animals.
since there was evidence of sexual assault.
sexual. Yeah.
You know, there had to have been some kind of.
I would assume that he would probably have had a crush on her and like tried to make an advance. Maybe it was like, hey, maybe you shouldn't get married.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, yeah, I'm going to get married to my husband, like to my fiance, the guy that I like.
Yeah, to my fiance that's also a doctor and not a mice technician.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Mouse maintenance.
Mouse maintenance man.
I don't know. I mean, he might have had a more serious title than that, and I just don't know. Like, it might have been more intense than cleaning their cages. But that's where my brain's at for him.
Yeah, me too. But obviously, Annie's murder was a big shock for the University of Yale, and it rocked the field of research, and it devastated her family, and it raised many horrifying questions. Like, if this could happen in one of the most secure academic buildings in America, where can't it happen?
Yeah.
Policies changed, security tightened even more. Unfortunately, none of this can bring Annie back, but you know, at least there's, I don't even know how you could get even any more security than that, but at least they tried.
Fixing the camera angles.
Yeah, put more cameras in there.
Yeah.
At her memorial service, her advisor said that Annie was tiny, but she was fierce, and she was a rising star in science, and the world is smaller without her. Her fiance actually never publicly spoke about the case ever again, which I don't blame him at all. But the scary part is, like, what do you, like, to think about a story like this, nothing makes sense, and you have the murderer, but you can't just like blame it on I don't know, like just some weirdo in an alleyway.
Yeah.
You know, like it's the coworker that you pass by every morning and you work with every single day. And he just killed her.
That's what, like, when I said more cameras, I'm like, but I don't even know if more cameras would have really stopped it, honestly, because it just seems like almost like a disgruntled person.
Employee. Yeah. Yeah. A regular person who attended Yale.
Yeah, you wouldn't really suspect that they're about to murder you. But yeah, that's horrible. It is scary that you don't know the amount of people that are around you that are like, what are there's statistics that they say you walk by so many serial killers in your life and you don't know. Like,
everybody is a murderer until proven otherwise.
Well, you haven't said that in a long time.
That is my tagline.
It's not wrong.
Somebody copyright that.
But it's really not wrong. Like,
no, it's 100% true. Everybody is a serial killer or a murderer until proven otherwise. We'll leave it with this because I feel it's deserving. We will remember Annie for who she was, brilliant, ambitious, loving, not just for the horror of how she died. And we take the reminder that danger doesn't always look like a stranger. Sometimes it looks like someone with a badge, someone with a smile, and someone who should have been safe. So that's all I have.
R.I.P. girl.
R.I.P. Annie Lay.
I bet she'd be doing some good shit still.
No, she probably was the cure for cancer.
Yeah. That's at first, when you very first opened up, I was like, oh, we're covering up her death. Because you said she was really smart and worked in a lab. I was like, and cancer and diabetes, those are like massive killers in the world. I was like, oh, they're going to take her out. They're not going to make money if she's alive.
No, it was just old Raymond Clark III.
What a wiener.
Psycho.
Poor girl.
Yeah.
Cannot imagine that.
Cannot imagine.
Right.
I've been talking in a British accent for many days now. I can't stop.
Mine gets really bad when I watch Love Island Australia.
I've been watching lots of F1. So they all have an accent.
I watched a video of, the reaction test things they do where they like drop the sticks and stuff. I watched like a little kid that was doing it and I was like, man, this kid's going to eat. He missed every single one of them. But I was like, why would they post this if he's not going to eat, you know? And he was like 3 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds behind.
Bless his little heart.
He was just like 2 or 3.
Oh.
But I thought he was about to really get it.
He was about to rip it.
Yeah.
Nope.
It's like
Ate shit.
There's a TikTok video and it's this guy playing guitar or he's sitting down with a guitar and you're like, he's about to get it. And then it's like, oh
my God, I couldn't. There's
I
no
love
way.
videos like that where you're like, yeah.
It's
And then you're
supposed to
like,
be
you know
good.
what? Still, yeah.
Yeah, I'm still going to like it.
I still like this. Yeah.
We love that.
I'm also a sucker on TikTok where it's like, stay for 5 rotations of this so I can do this.
Oh, I can't.
Well,
It makes me too sad.
Well, I just like read the comments or like instead of like watching the actual video, I just like slide up into the comments and
That's
start
even
liking.
worse.
No, I just start no, because people will be like, water this flower, and then like point at the like button.
Oh, okay.
And so like I'll go like all of those, and then my whole entire For You page turns into that, and I'm like, all right, I can't keep doing it.
Yeah. No. Mine's all F1 right now. So
I've been trying to stay off social media because I like was in a rabbit hole where I'm staying up till 6 a.m. on social media. Not last night, but the night before, I quite literally stayed awake till 7:30 in the morning. So yesterday I only slept till 11:30, set an alarm and was like, okay, we're not doing that.
I went to bed at 1 o'clock this morning.
I went to bed at like 4 this morning, but that's because I was coughing
Yeah.
and thinking of the story I'm covering. It's about the nun.
It's going to be good.
Yeah, I'm like, it's got the nun in it. So
Can't wait.
I was like doing the research and it wasn't dark outside yet.
Mhm.
And then it started getting dark and I was like, I should probably stop. And then I went to the bathroom and my bedroom was dark. And lately my Christmas tree in my bedroom's been on and it wasn't on. And I was like, ugh. And so I was walking to turn it on and I was like, oh, but what if something crawls out from the other side of my bed when I go to turn it on? I never really think that far, but this upcoming story got me a little bit.
Ooh, I can't wait. Yeah.
Got me a little bit pooked.
Pooked out.
Yeah. You know what's crazy?
Well,
I'll just give you a little glimpse because no one listens this far anyway.
hey, not true.
I'll give you a glimpse.
Don't give it away.
No, just a glimpse because there's a lot that goes on. Someone in this story was also bricked into a wall alive.
What?
Yeah.
Shut up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
So
Can't wait to hear it.
So little did you know.
Can't wait to hear it, babe.
Thanks. Right. So
anyways.
today's episode has been very good. The story was great.
Story was great.
We're just in La La Land.
We are. I'm going to just trust you to snippity snip snap snip this up.
We have 23 minutes remaining of eligible content.
What?
It's only going to be 23 minutes long.
For real?
No.
Oh. I was like, damn, okay. Shit. Damn. What? I need to go take a nap. So we will see you.
Hopefully. Again this week.
I think we will.
Yeah.
I think we will. We'll be back to it this week.
You'll
Maybe.
know when we know.
Yep. All right. Anyway, hope you liked it. Like, comment, subscribe, all the things. I knew I was forgetting something. Shit. Send us emails at sistersofthestrangepodcast@gmail.com if you have any listener stories. If you're from TikTok and you commented and said, oh, I have a story, freaking send it.
Yeah.
We want to read it. I promise we want to read it. So anyway, send us your shit, like our stuff, follow us, subscribe to us, repost us, share us with all your friends. It's going to be great. Okay. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.